Hello and thanks for joining us on OGTV News at 8. I am Iyabo Awujola. On the news, President Tinubu swears in Justice Kekiriekun as acting CJN, vows to promote rule of law. Governor Abeokuta flags off reconstruction of Abeokuta Ota Lagos Expressway. Federal government directs states to set up own emergency preparedness response teams to curb spread of monkeypox. Plus, Kamala Harris accepts Democratic Party's nomination as its presidential candidate.
And to come up on business news tonight, Nigerian oil production rises to 1.53 million barrels per day in July. Details of this and more when I return later on the business segment of the news. I am Opeyemi Adeokuta. Don't go away.
On sport news tonight, Gundogan returns to Manchester City from Barcelona. This and more much later on the news. I am Moses Ojewumi. Stay with us.
The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. You can watch us live on Facebook at OGTV, YouTube at OGTV Abeokuta, and on OGTV website on www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And for the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at OGTV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download OGTV app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. And now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has administered the oath of office on Justice Kudirat Kekiriekun as the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria. She will operate in acting capacity until her due confirmation by the Senate. Justice Kekiriekun took her oath at the council chambers of the State House, Abuja, and took her rightful sitting position in the council chambers on the left-hand side of the president. She is assuming her new role as CJ following the retirement of her predecessor, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, and her nomination and presentation to President Tinubu by the National Judicial Council on August 15, 2024. Justice Kekiriekun is the second Nigerian female jurist to serve as the Chief Justice of Nigeria after Justice Aloma Mary Mukhtar, who was the Chief Justice of Nigeria from July 2012 and November 2014. Among those who witnessed the event were other justices of the nation's apex court, the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the leadership of the House of Representatives, represented by House Leader Honorable Julius Inovere, the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and immediate past Chief Justice of Nigeria, Chief Justice Olukayode Ariwola. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has pledged to continue promoting the rule of law and ease the administration of justice in Nigeria. He made this commitment during the swearing-in ceremony of Justice Kudirat Kekiriekun as acting Chief Justice of Nigeria at the State House in Abuja. Tinubu emphasized his administration's dedication to upholding the rule of law and ensuring prompt attention to the judiciary, recognizing its crucial role in driving social order, peace, security, and economic development. He urged Kekiriekun to remain faithful to the Constitution and promote the cause of justice, integrity, discipline, and transparency during her tenure. Tinubu commended Kekeriekun's admirable family and professional background, noting her exceptional talent, hard work, and dedication to her calling. He praised her meritorious rise from magistrate to justice of the Supreme Court, describing her as a beacon of hope for young women aspiring to break the glass ceiling. The Supreme Court has affirmed the re-election of Senator Duoyediri as the governor of Bayelsa State after dismissing the appeal of Timbre Silva, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, in the November 11, 2023 off-cycle election. A 5-member panel of the Apex Court, headed by Justice Lawal Garba, affirmed the Court of Appeal decision of July 15, which deemed Silva's appeal as an abuse of court process for filing 2 notices of appeal. Citing a section of the 1999 Constitution, the Apex Court panel held that the APC governorship candidate has only one right to appeal the judgment of the tribunal and not multiple appeals. The court therefore faulted the APC governorship candidate who filed 2 notices of appeal to the appellate court. The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared that Governor Duoye Diri of the PDP garnered a total of 175,196 votes to defeat his closest rival, Timper Silva of the APC, who polled 110,108 votes. In the related development, the Supreme Court has affirmed the victory of Usman Ododo of the All Progressives Congress in the November 11, 2023 governorship election held in Kogi. A 5-member panel of the Apex Court in a judgment held that the appeal by the Social Democratic Party and its candidate Muritala Ajaka was without merit and proceeded to dismiss it. Justice Sadiq Umar, who authored and read the lead judgment, resolved all the 3 issues identified for determination in the appeal against the appellants. A 3-member panel of the appeal court in a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Onyekachi Otisi on July 11 had upheld the decision of the Kogi State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. The appellate court held that the SDP and its governorship candidate Ajaka failed to prove the allegations contained in their appeal beyond reasonable doubt as required by law. The court equally dismissed the appeals filed by Action Alliance and its governorship candidate Olayinka Braimo, and that of the People's Redemption Party and its governorship candidate Dr. Abdullahi Bayawo, challenging Ododo's victory. Justice Otisi, while delivering judgment on SDP and Ajaka's appeal, agreed with the Election Petition Tribunal, which sat in Abuja. The Independent National Electoral Commission has urged journalists to abide by laws, regulations and guidelines for the September 21 governorship election in Edo State. It also enjoined journalists to obey all rules and codes from relevant regulatory bodies, as well as the ethics of the journalism profession and the discharge of the duty on election day. The Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Rotimi Oyikomi, who stood in for the National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voters Education Committee, Sam Ulumekun, stated this at the Commission's Forum for Reporters, Producers and On-Air Personalities in Benin, Edo State. He noted that journalists are not allowed to film or take photographs of any individual within the polling zone without his consent, and film or photograph any voter marking a ballot paper. Ulumekun noted that journalists are to display the identification tags issued by the Commission at all times on polling day, be at the polling unit from the opening of polls on election day to cover all stages of the polling process, from voter accreditation through the voting period to the counting of ballot papers and pasting of results, provided they do not interfere with polling processes or compromise the voter's statutory right to secrecy of his or her vote. Ogun State Governor Prince Dakwa Abeokuta has flagged off the reconstruction of the Abeokuta-Ota Lagos Highway with a promise that the project will be completed in the next 18 months. Governor Abeokuta gave the assurance in Ituri, Iwekuru local government area of the state, where he also said that the road, which traverses 4 local government areas, Abeokuta North, Iwekuru, Ifo and Ado-Ota, will experience speedy completion with the deployment of 5 different gangs to Ota, Ifo, Papalanto, Iwekuru, Ituri, and Abeokuta. Government Service Correspondent Yusuf Ganu reports.
Abeokuta-Ota Lagos Road, which has become an eyesore due to its deplorable condition, has affected both human and vehicular movement. It has also slowed down economic activities in the ASICs. Dignitaries from all walks of life joined Governor Dakwa Abeokuta for the turning of sword and flag off of the reconstruction of the road, while assuring the people of the state that the reconstruction of the road would include drainages, culverts, sidewalks, medians and laybys, assured that the project would create job opportunities for both skilled and unskilled workers, as well as boost security along the axes. He said it would also provide a conducive atmosphere for businesses, reduce vehicle maintenance costs, and enhance the quality of lives of people of the state.
To expedite the construction, 5 team gangs have been deployed. 5, they will be constructing in 5 different places at the same time. 1 gang will be in Ota, Ifo. 1 gang will be in Babalanto. 1 and 1 gang will be in Abeokuta. Each gang will cover about 15 kilometers. By the grace of God, we will free this road in 18 months.
Governor Abeokuta also commended President Bola Tinubu for approving the transfer of the federal government-owned road for its administration for reconstruction.
This road is about 70 kilometers in length and is a dual carriageway of about 10.5 meters wide. This road was awarded originally in 2003. Since then, it has suffered insufficient funding. Like Abeokuta said, you know that road, this road was never completed, neither was it commissioned or handed over to the federal government. Because the contractors were never adequately funded. By the time they finish extension, they abandoned it for about a year. When they come back, the extension has already been degraded. Our people have suffered too much on this road, but today our hope is renewed.
Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Abeokuta, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Engineer Latif Yusuf, and Senior Manager of Greenberg Construction Company, Engineer Edmund Malu, disclosed that 5 gangs would be deployed on the road to ensure timely completion of the project.
The state government will ensure the timely completion of the road for the benefit of commuters and residents of the state and Lagos and the entire country in general.
We also assure of our commitment to give employment opportunities to both skilled and unskilled workers within these communities.
There were also goodwill messages.
So please, Your Excellency, this road, we want to plead that all the bus stops should have laybys, sir. Let them incorporate layby in most of our bus stops, so that all these road transporters can have where to park without obstructing the traffic. And I want to need to also consider Papa for a bridge.
I am very excited that it is during my tenure as a legislator that this road is being finally addressed. I am very grateful, sir.
To comfort our people and foster economic growth, create more jobs, and it will make everything easy for all commuters.
Governor Abeokuta, however, called for objective criticisms of his administration, warning that anyone who maligns his administration unduly should get ready for legal consequences. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Hundreds of people residing in the 4 local government areas which Abeokuta Songwater Lagos Expressway passes through say they will be eternally grateful to the state government for awarding the road to Greenberg Construction Company at last for immediate fixing. They recounted their losses for over 2 decades. The project was abandoned to become a sort of siege, claiming lives and properties on a daily basis. Fowora Adesonwo reports.
Finally, the siege is over. 5 gangs at a go deployed to sites, and 18 months has been given as deadline for delivery of a modern state-of-the-art new Abeokuta Songwater Lagos Highway. The contractors Greenberg Construction, a reputable construction firm which delivered the high-profile Ijebu-Ode-Ekpe Expressway and the Gateway International Airport Ilisho Iperu, are already spotted on the site.
The road belongs to federal government. The Abuja people are in Abuja, they are not driving on it. We are the state people that live here.
Traditional rulers were led to the flag off ceremony by the chairman of Ogun State Council of Obas, Oba Kehinde Olugbenle. Oba Olugbenle prayed for the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for taking up the challenge of infrastructural deficit across the 20 local government areas and federal roads.
I thank God Almighty that God laid it upon his heart. What is the federal government? Decide not to speak. Everything cannot fall. Thank God that His Excellency, the President, also appreciated that this road needed serious attention.
To the Olu of Itori Oba Fatai Akamo, the road which is being fixed by the Ogun State government had brought a lot of embarrassment not only to the government but also its throne.
It has been all over Ogun State. Even he took the bull by the horn on this flag off today.
Going down the memory lane, most of the respondents spoke on the importance of the road, which they described as first third road in the entity called Nigeria.
How do you think I will feel? I feel very highly elated. The slums were brought about because of the abandonment of this road. You know, when Yorubas say, that if the owner of the house does not abandon it, they can't grow weed. Because it was abandoned, so it gave rise to shanties to develop. Now that we are going to upgrade this road, that the economy of Ogun State is going to be boosted, we are going to come back and remove these shanties.
It challenged the people to ensure government properties, particularly infrastructure, are protected, even amidst tension, protests, and provocation.
I want to say that we should plead with all of us, the citizens of this area and elsewhere in Nigeria, that we should please stop burning tires on roads. It spoils our roads.
This is what people have been clamoring for, and thank God it comes at the right time.
The Speaker of Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Daisy Elemide, and National Assembly members who turned up for the all-important ceremony said the takeoff of the project was a pointer to the fact that Prince Dapo Abiodun, Governor of Ogun State, is leading a responsible and responsive government.
He responds promptly and actively with action.
It almost became something that was physical with the federal government led by the then minister.
The governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, assured the people that good roads will continue to be constructed to farmlands like Magboro, industrial hub like Lusada Aton, and many others as the state consolidates on the developmental revolution, which he said remains unstoppable. Adefowora Adesanwo, OGTV News.
If you are just joining us, you are watching OGTV News at 8. Still ahead, Vice President Shettima charges armed forces on proactive ways in addressing regional threats. More news and reports after the break. Stay with us.
The new Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids. Milo 3-in-1 is such a smart choice. Milo, energy to go further.
From Nestle.
Welcome back. Ogun State government has deployed additional harvesters to Magboro rice cluster to hasten harvest and boost morale of the farmers. This is coming barely 24 hours after the state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, flagged off the harvest of 200 hectares of rice cultivated to fight hunger through Ogun State Economic Transformation Program and the World Bank. Fowora Adesanwo has an update in this report.
Magboro town is now a signature of all optimists in the Nigerian project. ever-growing town is to wear new look. In terms of infrastructural development, as the Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abeokuta had seen for himself the prospect of one of the commercial hubs springing up along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. A 30-minute drive from the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway close to Gaon community is this expanse of virgin land, which experts had concluded to be the best soil for rice production. Barely 24 hours after the governor led the State Executive Council to the location for the commemorative harvest of the long grain rice, activities and commitment of the farmers are now redoubled for more productivities.
He gave Fuji Gosafa to the work that he want. People to come join us. Many people to come, this is good. People must come down. That's very dandy.
So this land could well
a good way to do it. And I only machine will feel come for hand because the land is good, very good. As you want the land, I saw meet them. He did very, very important. We feel use them everything we feel get. And the two way good the things are this place. If you are a farmer, I will go so simple. You go pass more than like that. That's the thing.
Live for Latin Lego. I know like Baopoya, the Magberasi law. We can be what you are very no in what they don't pay. Or teach you do meji or teach you do meta or do talk better no in the governor TV wole.
They are convinced that the political will was not only apt but timely. Governor Abeokuta, as a way of boosting food production, had promised to purchase drones to scare away birds, to replace vuvuzela and catapults, which are not only crude, but cumbersome way of scaring pests away from the 200 hectares of rice farmland. Also promised were solar-powered pumps for irrigation, construction of Magboro inner roads to the farm, and expansion of the farm to a 2,000 hectares. Amongst others, the farmers describe the gesture as encouraging.
We do more farming by the grace of God. Inshallah, if the government help us and put hand for our job, for Ogun State can feed many nations. Many nations can eat this our rice. Because we'll start now, we'll first do the first one now, we will do the second one after rainy season. After the rainy season on again, we'll still enter the other one. For a year, we'll do 3 times.
They believe Nigeria has no business to be hungry with a total commitment in agriculture.
We'll get hungry again by the grace of God.
This is the last time.
This is the last time.
History of hunger.
Yes, history of hunger by the grace of God. We don't need foreign rice again. Our rice is okay for us. If you cook our rice, you say we're going to see yes, you get better rice, better than that one we get chemical.
The browning harvester from Ogun State government is now being tightened up for faster harvest. There's no doubt that real Nigerian rice from Ogun State, from farm to the barn, is here.
This is a silent revolution and a political will to drive away hunger from our land. From Magboro, Ogun State, Adefowora, Adesanwo, OGTV News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has charged the Nigerian Armed Forces to remain vigilant and proactive in addressing regional security threats. He gave the charge at the graduation ceremony of Course 32 of the Nigerian Defense College, Abuja. Shettima, who represented President Tinubu, said the current administration is determined to make Nigeria safe for investment and economic prosperity. He emphasized the need for strategic leadership to address the mirage of security challenges in the country. Addressing the participants, the Vice President urged them to continue to uphold the value of patriotism. He said the federal government would look into the fundamental recommendations made by the participants in their overall report to implement them. He also promised that his administration will complete the ongoing work at the permanent site of the National Defense College. A total of 111 participants took part in the course, with 19 foreign participants. Experts and economic...
No need to add milk join for that ogbonge creamy cup wey go help nourish and give your pikin strength. Milk Milo 3-in-1 na correct choice. Milo, energy to fit do more.
Experts and economic analysts have commended the move by the Southern Governors Forum to set up Southern States Development Agenda, a development that will engender a holistic plan to foster trade and investment. The Southern States Development Agenda will no doubt galvanize interstate and inter-region activities, thereby boosting food security and sufficiency. Margaret Okunlola has the details.
With the biting economic realities, governments at all levels have risen to the challenge of providing cushioning effects to ameliorate the economic downturn. At the recent Southern Governors Forum in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, it emerged in its communique that plans are rife to set up Southern States Development Agenda that will promote economic prosperity, social harmony and food security in the region. Chairman of the forum, who doubles as Ogun State's governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, encourages all the states to intensify their agricultural revolution on cash and food crops, where each of them has best comparative advantage, so as to achieve food sufficiency, self-reliance, and employment generation. Economic analysts laud the move by the Southern governors, saying it is the right way to go to enhance food production.
No state can stand on its own. You can never be an island. It's a very good development. What other states are bringing to our state, what we are taking from our state to other states, the price will be lower.
That's why we elevate poverty out of the land, and then we buy it direct at the subsidized rate.
Speaking with some industrialists and members of Odua Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, as well as Ogun State Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, lend their voices for the call to enhance promotion of trade and investment among the southern states.
The issue of commerce and trade has been an integral part of us in the Yoruba land here. Our ability through what the governor is trying to do to ensure that there is collaboration within us is a great step in the right direction, because it will expose whatever the hidden treasure that we have. We have a lot of treasure. I remember the timber trees along the canal then. It's a very beautiful thing. So if we can reorganize and put those things back on track. Of course, the southwest, we are well endowed in terms of climate and very good soil to improve our agricultural setup, and that's why the agro airport is a very important asset that is within this locality. So I want to appreciate the governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for his initiative, and I want to encourage him that he should continue to work along that line. And with the Chamber of Commerce, we will give him the necessary support.
Some prefer better ways of implementing the proposal as a precursor to a sustainable agricultural growth.
They need to work better on their relationship with the private sector. They must create the conducive environment, like tax, like good roads. If the roads are not good, perishable goods will perish on the road. If the taxes are not reduced, then there's something to write home about.
The security implication is huge. One thing is that nobody can beat his chest and say everything is okay, the security is okay. No, it's not. When the security situation improves, that idea is a very good idea.
The move, when it finally comes on stream, will witness high volume of interstate trade, social harmony and integration among the 17 southern states. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
No need to add milk join for that ogbonge creamy cup wey go help nourish and give your pikin strength. Milo 3-in-1 na correct choice. Milo, energy to fit do more.
In its desperate bid to contain the spread of monkeypox in the country, The federal government has directed states to set up their various emergency preparedness and response teams, capabilities and action plans with the support of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC). This came as the number of confirmed cases has risen to 40 out of the 830 suspected cases recorded so far. Worried over the rising cases of the disease, the United States government has disclosed a plan to send doses of monkeypox vaccines to Nigeria to help contain the fast-spreading disease. The Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, speaking at the joint NCDC-WHO National Monkeypox briefing with stakeholders and partners meeting in Abuja, said NCDC has already met with state governors and the various health commissioners on the need for the centers. He hinted that the NCDC was enhancing its public awareness drive so that people can know what is expected of them to be safe. Foodborne illness, more commonly referred to as food poisoning, is the result of eating contaminated or toxic food. About 1 in 10 people in the world fall sick after eating food contaminated through improper farming, processing, preservation, and services. Some nutritionists say that studies and existing facts reveal that lawmakers, enforcement officers, regulators, food handlers, and even the consuming public do not take food safety seriously, urging individuals to take proper care of the way they produce food. Tony Ogundekbe reports.
In Nigeria, more than 200,000 persons die of food poisoning annually, caused by contaminated food. The cost of illnesses associated with foodborne diseases in Nigeria is estimated at 3.6 billion per annum by the World Health Organization. Cases of food poisoning will typically involve a few of the following symptoms: abdominal cramp, diarrhea, vomiting, loss of appetite, mild weakness, and headache, among others. Food poisoning usually isn't life-threatening. It can be uncomfortable, but most people recover completely within a few days, even without treatment. The length of time it takes for symptoms to appear depends on the source of infection. It can range from at least 30 minutes to as long as 8 weeks. A medical practitioner says that poisoning can usually be treated at home by staying hydrated, taking counter medications, resting and eating easy to digest food.
Have food poisoning. For instance, I don't know if you have been to parties before, you discover that when they prepare certain dish, maybe early in the morning for the party, and that food is not served until around 4. A typical example is so far that most times it gets spoiled. It's called that the taste is changing, even the odor is already changing. Another example is salad. You know, some salad has been mixed with cream and some other ingredients like eggs and some other stuff. And because it's not well served, and some of these food are not even supposed to be closed, some are not supposed to. So there are ways of preserving them. But if they are not well preserved, you discover that you know there's a bacterial growth already, and if individual consume such food, it can lead to food poisoning.
tó fẹ́ dá nínú ilé àtobìnrin kéèyàn neat pẹ̀lú gbogbo ohun tó fẹ́ ṣe kó fi neatness ṣe kó dẹ̀ dáná yẹn.
Food should be well prepared to avoid diseases.
According to dietitian Oladimeji Okunla, eating raw food are the most common sources of food poisoning, and urge individuals to make sure food is cooked properly before consumption.
If an egg is not well cooked, there's a bacteria we call it salmonella. This salmonella can grow and can cause serious illness for people who don't know. So please, anytime that I want to prepare our egg, especially boiled egg, we should ensure it is well cooked. And it's not even a good habit for those who drink or who swallow or whatever fresh egg. They will just mix it, and it's not because it comes naturally with some bacteria, especially salmonella, and this can cause serious food poisoning to our heads.
Some food producers say the environment where food is processed should always be clean and tidy every time.
You must first of all put cleanliness as your first step. You must ensure that everything that you are going to use is in clean position, because if you want to prepare any food, you must make sure that the water you want to use, the water is clean, and your hand. If you see some women, their finger, that they have long fingers, that can contribute to food poisoning, because some dirty must be on their knees.
The best way to prevent food poisoning is to handle your food safely and avoid any food that may be unsafe. In Nigeria,
an electric tricycle developed by the Innovation Center of the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro has been showcased to the public with the promise of an assembly plant that will soon be set up to mass produce the tricycle for use in the campus and commercial purposes. Inspecting the process of the assemblage of the eco-friendly and noiseless tricycle in the presence of the Governing Council of the institution, Director of Vehicle Electrification, National Automotive Design and Development Council, and the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Nuruddin Ayinde, commended the innovation. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
The Federal Polytechnic Ilaro has always been at the forefront of coming up with initiatives and innovative strategies to address the challenges in the society. The Innovation Center was opened 3 years ago to provide the students with hands-on skills in science, technical and ICT innovations, and the development of this electric tricycle is one of the outcomes and products of the Innovation Center.
We went into artificial intelligence, embedded system, robotics. In the second year, we did a portable inverter. The President Rector, he gave us that nudge that we must develop a tricycle.
Director of Vehicle Electrification, National Automotive Design and Development Council in the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Nuruddin Ayinde, who was very impressed in the production of the fuelless and eco-friendly electric tricycle, said this can help revolutionize the automotive industry.
The tricycle, electric tricycle I've seen is highly commendable. The school can approach other manufacturers, big players in the industry. They can also assist. But the most important thing is that all of us will continue to pressure the government to finish up so many raw material producing companies that they have started.
Chairman Governing Council of the institution, Alhaji Gashua Gaba, says this is a clear demonstration of what the Polytechnic is capable of doing with necessary funding and support, as the solution is being sought for heavy reliance on fossil fuels and climate change.
I drove on that tricycle from the Innovation Center down to the main admin complex. The ride was successful. There is no any problem. We are proposing that next time, if they are going to do it, they will do it in such a way that it will accommodate at least 3 people at the back.
Rector of Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Dr. Mukail Aremu Akinde, assures that the institution will continue to come up with initiatives that will help the development of the nation and transformation of the economy.
This is just the prototype. The main design contains 3 people, will contain 3 people at the back and 1 in the front. And that also has a solar panel.
This innovation, which is an improvement on the technology of tricycle already in place in the country, will help provide alternative means of transportation.
Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
Nigerians have been admonished not to relent in praying for the peace, stability and development of the nation. This call was made by His Holiness Most Reverend Rufus Oshitelu at the grand finale of the 88th Tabura Spiritual Festival held at Mount Tabura, Ogiri, Remo. Ayodeji Tomoriolumi has more.
With nations, they come from different parts of the world to cast their burden unto the Lord at the holy Mount Tabora.
My expectation ranges from blessings from God, protection, provision from God, above all, blessings over my work and my family.
Of course, I have supplications I've made to God. So, and even before I got here, He has started answering them. So that means I'm seeing more of people's prayers being answered.
This year, Tabora, I'm expecting a lot of things from God. This is a month of miracle. My prayer is going to be answered 100% sure.
The 2024 Tabora Spiritual Festival of the Church of the Lord worldwide was not different from the past celebrations, as souls were lifted through different songs rendition. In his goodwill message, Asiwaju Onigbagbo of Remoland, also the senator representing Ogun East, Otumba Gbenga Daniel, says it is worthy of note that the state is blessed to have such religion institution.
Our state, Ogun State, is lucky. This is one of the most important annual gatherings. So I think that God has been kind to us in the state, and we must try very hard to continue to develop what God has given us.
Preaching on the theme of the year's celebration, Walking in Faith, Bishop David Fabusoro admonished Christians to operate with God with a firm belief.
Faith is the access, the medium by which we tap into God's presence. It is faith that receives what grace has supplied. We are called to walk by faith and not by sight. Without faith, we cannot gain access to what God has provided.
As expected, the president of the Church of the Lord worldwide, His Holiness Most Reverend Rufus Oshitelu, delivered his message for the nation.
The Lord says the year 2025 is a year of regeneration and a year of transformation that will usher in development and progress. The Lord says, do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will fix up Nigeria.
Highlight of the spiritual gathering was the annual ritual declaration of 13 blessings by Most Reverend Rufus Oshitelu.
Thou art the fountain of blessings. Send your blessings on your people.
Ayodeji Tomori Olunmi, OGTV News.
King Sunny Ade, a towering figure in Nigerian music, is widely regarded as one of the most influential and enduring artists in the country's rich cultural tapestry. Born as Sunday Adeniyi Adege on September 22, 1946 in Osogbo, Nigeria, his career spans several decades, during which he has revolutionized the Juju music genre. Known for his masterful guitar work, vibrant stage presence, and the seamless fusion of traditional Yoruba music with modern sounds, King Sunny Ade has not only captivated audiences within Nigeria, but also garnered international acclaim, becoming a global ambassador of African music. Glimpses this week focuses on the Juju Mistress.